Calling, yeah, I'm shot calling, hitting like it's rolling.
So this is part 7 to What If Deku, well, got the Omnitrix or had the Omnitrix, part 7, a slasher, rebooted. So guys, I did this What If, actually this is one of my favorite What Ifs, other than What If Deku was in a vampire and werewolf school. Basically, basically been, I last left off, if you haven't seen, I'm so sorry, guys. I'm doing the first part of this unscripted. Basically, if you haven't seen part 1 or part 6 or anything of those, just go on my YouTube page, scroll down, and you'll find all the parts to it. So, yeah. But, the rebooted series has rebooted / after the part, whatever. So, yeah. So basically, I got swapped out for Deku, got ready and packed up all the stuff for the, training camp arc. So they got ready and pretty much they go onto the bus and they drive to the training arc, or the, camp, summer camp. So they get started, pretty much, the Wild Wild Pussycats show up there and they get started. Now, I'm pretty sure the ship for this one is Momo. I'm going to be a little bit more, a lot more direct with the ships. So pretty much they get ready, and pretty much they get started and pumped up. So they get ready, and Deku, says they come closer, and pretty much Wild Pussycat, the blonde one, hits on Deku, and Deku pretty much says her age, pretty much well, messing with her. Now, pretty much she gets angry, and Momo says to back off my boyfriend, and pretty much, they start, arguing. Eventually, they get to a point when, they get started, and pretty much everybody's sent into the forest. Mineta goes to pee, and then the golems, or whatever the, tree monsters show up, and they start, attacking. They have to attack each other. Pretty much, Deku just, avoids all this, and pretty much transforms into fast track, grabbing Momo and running out there past everybody all the way to the camp. Momo sees his other opportunity, says, so why don't we just leave everybody back there? Pretty much Deku says fine and runs back there grabbing some other students. They get there and pretty much the teachers show up a little bit later. So they congratulate the students from getting here faster. Deku doesn't tell them that, he ran them over here. Pretty much the kids that Deku grabbed were Mineta, Denki, and Kirishima, because he thought those, they would get there last. Not Kirishima, he just liked Kirishima because he was a close friend. So basically, they get started and they get their whole entire meal. They say for them that they're going to have to cook for themselves. We're just cooking for you guys because you did the whole entire, thing. So pretty much they eat, they go to sleep, and pretty much Deku actually does, go up and try to, handshake, handshake, what was it? Kota? Yeah, Kota. And Kota pretty much goes for a punch. Deku's still in fast track form and pretty much dodges the punch instantly and grab Kota from the, collar and says, what do you do that, you little... And pretty much he says, why'd you do that, you little... And about to punch Kota right in the face. But pretty much, one of the Wild Wild Pussycat members, stopped Deku at the last second. Pretty much Deku says, control your kid. And pretty much just, walking off, de-transforming. So Deku was actually wearing this outfit when he did, the whole entire forest training thing. So he's in this outfit. So pretty much they go to eat, and the next day they get started on training. So they train, and they pretty much focus on training. Deku is pretty much training with all of his new transformations, trying to master them as best as he can. Sorry, guys. Pretty much he's mastering them, going as best as he can, and eventually Deku gets to a point where he's mastered all of his new transformations. Deku's also got 2 new transformations doing the training arc. So Deku has unlocked Astral Dactyl and also unlocked Deku unlocks this alien. I don't remember this alien's name, but I do know his power set. He's like a Magneto. He can control magnetic fields like Magneto. So yeah. So basically, Deku unlocks this alien, and also Deku unlocks a new setting to the Omnitrix. Deku can also transform to alien, but Deku also unlocks a new transformation that Deku can, Deku boosts up his, time limit to only conserving energy, meaning that Deku doesn't have a time limit anymore. Deku transforms to any alien he wants in a unlimited amount of time. And Deku also can basically transform anything. It's just so pretty much the Omnitrix only runs on energy, kind of like how the Omnitrix runs on energy. So yeah, and also Deku's Omnitrix does change its look. Deku's Omnitrix changes the look exactly like the Omniverse Omnitrix. Pretty much, this version of the Omnitrix is actually not a prototype. This version of the Omnitrix is actually all of the Omnitrixes combined into one. Now, Deku will eventually get the, pretty much whatchamacallit. Deku will eventually get the, I forgot to say it. What was it again? Deku will, eventually get the Ultimatrix and the, Ultimate Omnitrix. Pretty much the Omnitrix that has all the versions of the Omnitrix. Pretty much, sorry guys, this Omnitrix does change to fit the color palette of the Omnitrix, but it isn't the Omniverse Omnitrix. This is what I'm trying to say. The Omnitrix looks like this now. The Omnitrix looks like this now. It's more of a skinnier and more, pretty much more smarter watch look. Not all clunky like the original Omnitrix look. So pretty much Deku's Omnitrix transforms to look like this. Look more, pretty much techy, more advanced. So basically, the Omniverse Omnitrix will be given to Deku near the end of this What If. And Deku will also be getting the, the Ultimatrix, by whatever you guys want Deku to get the Ultimatrix. So basically, Deku gets ready and he trains harder and harder. Deku trains his physical body as well, getting about Daredevil type of, combat, strategy, and fighting skill. Pretty much, Deku gets a pretty good understanding in combat and fighting styles. Deku eventually gets really buff. Deku still has the same body that he had after the training in canon. So Deku is pretty, a lot more stronger, faster, and also Deku has a lot more transformations, and his time limit isn't a practicality anymore. So yeah. Deku is chilling, and eventually, the night that the villains ambush the camp, everybody gets, rambled. Pretty much the night when everybody, does that whole entire training thing, and they go around the night. Pretty much, they're training left and right. I also forgot. Ochaku and Bakugo, do still train. Now, I didn't get on Bakugo's case because I actually completely forgot how Bakugo had the anti-tricks. Now, for the first part, Bakugo did use forearms. He didn't turn into a fast track or any fast alien to just, pretty much leave everybody like Deku did. And also, for their training, Bakugo also gets the same skills as Deku. He trains his physical body and also his quirk to be stronger. And also, he does train the anti-tricks, and also the anti-tricks doesn't change its look. It looks exactly the same. But basically, yeah. So, basically, well, yeah, guys, so I'm not gonna get into it really quick, but yeah. So Bakugo and Deku get a lot more stronger, and Ochaku does figure out how to use her anti-dite powers more, fluently. Don't know what it's called. He has all the power sets that Gwen had in Ultimate Omnitrix. Ultimate Alien. So yeah. So pretty much they get started and ready, and Deku goes into the forest. Now, Deku is actually teamed up with Deku's actually teamed up with Bakugo. So Bakugo is, with Deku, you going around, scaring everybody. Deku actually is set up to scare somebody with, Bakugo. Bakugo transforms into Water Hazard, his version of Water Hazard, pretty much scaring people, and Deku transforms into Ghost Freak. Pretty much, they're going at it, but eventually the villains show up and they start ambushing everybody. So they start fighting all that jazz, and Bakugo, goes up onto the mountain, seeing that, Koda went up there earlier. So pretty much Bakugo transforms into Accelerate, goes up there, and pretty much sees that, you know, Koda's up there. Pretty much Muscular shows up and pretty much says that Bakugo, we're sent here to find two kids. You are one of them, and another student called Izuku Midoriya. But I guess it will suffice. The rest will get him. The rest will get the other kid. So pretty much, Muscular runs towards Bakugo. Bakugo transforms into Swamp Fire and pretty much starts throwing fireballs left and right towards Muscular. Muscular dodges all of them and does get burned a little bit, but grabs Bakugo by the throat and throws him into the wall, making a crater. Bakugo gets back up, using some super strength to pretty much punch Muscular back a little bit. Muscular actually feels that pain because Swamp Fire is actually incredibly strong. You might not know this, but Swamp Fire is able to freaking stand his ground and freaking walk or rip himself out of a freaking black hole. You know how strong you have to be to pretty much go against the force of a black hole? That's incredible strength. He also was able to pick up a whole entire building once, and he was able to latch himself up into the ground and pretty much stay on the ground, even though a black hole the size to pretty much gulp the whole entire universe was, on top of him. Pretty much, Swampfire is pretty OP and pretty strong. So pretty much Swampfire starts, throwing punches left and right, getting the upper hand on Muscular. Muscular, pretty much stops playing and goes full on, Muscular. So pretty much he grabs Bakugo by the face and chucks him into a wall. Now, but we switch back to Deku, pretty much in the place, fighting some villains in there. Deku sees a Wild White Pussycat getting beaten up by Spinner and also that Magnet Quirk guy. Deku transforms into Chroma Stone and starts shooting energy blast at them. Spinner gets a clean cut into Deku, but Deku just, the sword breaks off on Deku's skin because Deku is, sort of like an alien Jesus so in this form. So pretty much, Chromosome is basically an alien Jesus for Diamond Head. So yeah, Diamond Head's race. So pretty much Chromosome starts shooting energy blast over energy blast over energy blast, overpowering Spinner, knocking him out. The Magnet Quirk guy gets the upper hand on Deku and starts chipping away at Deku's, rock-like skin. Deku at the last second transforms into feedback, and pretty much dodges Magnet Quirk guy's next attack and pretty much grabs him by the shoulder and electrocutes him. So he falls down to his knees and gets knocked out. So Deku tells one of the mind control Wild White Pussycats to pretty much tell everybody to they're able to use their quirks. So she tells everybody you're able to use your quirks, and they get started and they start fighting. So Deku transforms into Accelerate, knowing that accelerates a lot more faster than Fast Track, running around trying to look for people. So Deku is running, and Deku eventually comes across Ochaku and Froppy, and also Ochaku and Froppy fighting Toka. Toka runs over Deku runs over to Toka, it kicks her in the face, and Toka starts, cutting Deku. Deku runs out of energy and transforms back. Deku goes for, a lunge towards Toka, and Toka dodges Deku's attacks and starts cutting into Deku. She sees how Deku looks so quotation mark fine bleeding, so whatever. Pretty much Toka being a psycho weirdo. Pretty much Toka, starts. And guys, don't go in the comments be saying like, oh no, Toka's my waifu. Don't talk trash about her. I know. Toka fine, but let's get off that topic. So pretty much Toka starts cutting at Deku. Deku dodges most of her attacks and eventually gets the upper hand on her, grabbing her by the throat and throwing her into a tree. So they run out of there, and Deku sees that, Ochaku and the rest of the students, get up into the front of the camp. So the fighting starts, and pretty much Shigaraki, sees this happening and says, we should, end it here. So pretty much the last second, they hear a thumping noise out of thin air. Deku looks around and sees nothing. Deku's confused, but he hears another thump. And he sees a whole entire freaking spaceship over them. And Deku and Bakugo and Ochaku gets zapped up into the spaceship, along with Momo grabbing Deku at the last second. So they get teleported into the spaceship, and Deku's, plumber badge goes off because the plumber's been a badge on Deku's Omnitrix, so, they would know if he ever left orbit. So pretty much at this point, he's in a spaceship and they're out of orbit, and pretty much Vilgax runs up to them and pretty much knocks out Bakugo with not even a second chance. Just pretty much knocks him out clean and grabs Deku and throws him onto, an operation tray, locking him down and locking the Omnitrix down as well. Taking out a saw and saying that I'm going to cut this off your arm, and I'm going to have the power of the universe in my hand, and I'm going to take that little friend's Omnitrix that he made for me, your little friend's Omnitrix that he made for me from a dream I implanted in his mind, and basically, I'm going to, well, have the universe in my hand, because I will have 2 Omnitrixes, and I will be all-powerful. I would literally be a god. So pretty much he starts, getting ready to cut into Deku's arm, but Kevin, Ben, and Gwen show up. Gwen and Ochaku start, using their powers on the ship, taking it down. Vilgax starts, fighting Kevin, but Kevin gets the upper ground on, Vilgax and throws him back. Taking, precautions into his own hands, jumping onto the operating table and ripping Deku off the operating table. Deku gets back on his feet and transforms into forearms, taking a huge, punch straight into Vilgax's stomach. Vilgax gets pushed back, and Vilgax says, enough of this, and grabs Bakugo's, knocked out body, and pretty much teleports off the ship into a pod with Bakugo's body. Now, Bakugo put a safety measure around his Omnitrix so the Omnitrix never be taken off. So, Vilgax pretty much, captures Bakugo, takes Bakugo to One For All, and I'm going to leave it off here, guys. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you guys later, and, well, have a blessed day.